Good evening. How are we doing, guys? It's good to be back. It's been a bit while since we've been on this channel, so good time to kind of boot it up as soon as all the football for Forest has stopped. Perfect time, I guess. So thank you so much for everyone that's already in there. We've already got 12 people here, so thank you all for waiting. I know we kind of posted on Twitter that we were going to be live, and then we ended up having to delay an extra day, but if we've been waiting like 2 months already, an extra day is not going to hurt anyone. So thank you so much for everyone that's in here already. My name's Joe. I'm one half of the Forest Fans Hub. To my right is the other main member of the Forest Fans Hub, Ez. Nice to have you back, mate. How you doing?
Yeah, great to be back, mate, and great to have you back. More importantly, I've been around. I think people have got sick of seeing me, actually, to be honest. But it's really great to have you back, mate, and it's really great to be getting this channel back up and running, because we did have we enjoyed it. And it was the best thing about this is it's a pastime for both of us, and we really enjoyed it. So yeah, let's get back to that, and thank you for everybody who supported us even while we've been away, and encouraged us to get back on. But yeah, we've had our reasons, unfortunately. But yeah, fingers crossed, we're all back and running, and we'll be be doing shows more regularly, even though we've timed it so well that the season's on a little bit of a break up. But
yeah, those reasons that you alluded to there, I can promise wholeheartedly weren't because Forest were in slumping form. I didn't stop immediately after the Bournemouth game and say I don't want to do it again until Forest win a couple of games on the bounce. You might be able to tell from my background, I don't have to have some kind of fake green screen up anymore. I've moved house. I'm all in now. I'm all set up. We've finally got internet connections in there, so I can now.
Joe, where's the fake university?
Oh, well, after I got a ribbon from your stream that was on there, I thought I'd just put it to the side about 5 minutes before we started. I've literally just thrown them on the floor.
No, it was just because it's just because Ant was jealous because they were actually straight when his clearly aren't. And I've been to his house. And they're not straight. I don't care what he says because he straightened them up as soon as I got there.
You've seen him in the flesh?
Say again?
You've seen him in the flesh? It's not straight.
Yeah, unfortunately, I was all masked up and everything, but I didn't go around. But as soon as I got there, that was the first thing he looked at. And then he says, "Oh, they're straight," and then he straightened them up, so they weren't straight at all. So whoever called them out, it was spot on.
So yeah, that's me and Ez, and then we've got this stream on today to kind of do a season in review. So we're going to invite every Forest fan who wants to get involved. We'll drop the link in the chat some way through so everyone can have their say about who's been their favourite player so far, how they think the season's gone, what their take on the games have been, and where they think we're going to finish. But while we're doing that, we have a very special guest today, and it is the birthday boy himself, Wolverine. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, mate. It's good to be 21. I finally, legally can drink in America now. So yeah, new experiences coming my way. I can't wait to see what it's like to, properly set off in the roads in the 20s. So it's nice. It's nice. And you two, in your 50s have told me how great it's been. As you're on mute.
That's it.
You're still on mute. You're still on mute. You're still on mute.
Sorry.
You're still on mute.
All right.
Yeah.
It was like watching an old Bruce Lee film, man.
Yeah, you should have dubbed something on, mate. You could have got me saying that. Sorry, was there a question in there?
I see you, Mark, the greatest 21-year-old ever. This comes from being a Forest fan. Look, you can tell how good a Forest fan you are by the lack of colour you have left in your hair, man. Yeah, so you should see me at 16. It's good to be on, but thank you so much. And more importantly, thank you for getting the channel back up and running, because I've missed this. It's all,
we're back. We're going to be back for a while, and we've come at the best time where there's no football on, so we can cover some World Cup stuff and then kind of talk about where we think we're going to do in the January transfer window, how the season's going to go, and all that good stuff. I'll be following England throughout their 3 games before they get knocked out. Ez will be following Wales because he just decided he wants to jump over to a different nation.
Yeah. If it was a single Forest player in England squad, I might have followed them. But no, I'm sorry. But Wales have got 3 of ours, so I'm going with them.
See, as a Scotsman myself, as you can tell by my skin color and accent, yeah, I get to go into most World Cups as a neutral. So yeah, I'll be doing some watch-alongs, but I haven't picked my boys yet. Kind of fancy Switzerland, a little bit of Freuler magic, you know, maybe Freuler. We'll see. Who are the guys backing in the chat? Guys in the chat, who are you backing? Who are you backing?
Oh,
we've got 20 people in already, so thank you all so much for taking the time to jump back into our first stream back. Obviously, first, oh my, thank you so much for coming back. Forest Ant, the legend himself, straight back in there. We've got Mark, who's come back to us. Thank you so much. Eve, good evening. Hope you're all well. I know you're out at a party tonight, but if you're able to come on, we'd always love to have you in the stream. The legend himself, Rad Dad.
Salute, sir.
We've got Daryl in here. It says, happy birthday, Wolfie.
Daryl, you know the score, 21. Cheers, Daryl.
The greyest looking 21-year-old.
No, you were right the first time, Joe. The greatest.
So yeah, the plan for this stream is really get as many Forest fans on, or anyone at all who's watching and wants to kind of get involved to talk about Forest. Basically going to have 3 easy questions for you. How do you think the season's gone? Who's been your favourite player so far this season? And do you think that we're going to be able to survive in the Premier League? Do you think we're going to be able to stay up next season and do more than a Fulham, more than a Norwich, who are just yo-yoing constantly? So we've actually got our first guest in. We've got Sharky, who's kind of waiting in the wings. Give us a thumbs up when you're ready, mate, and we'll bring you in.
My hero, get him in.
He's looking up and down. Yep, I said your name. Yep, Sharky, you ready? Yo, there's a nod. Here we go.
Hey, my boy Sharky, how you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. Thanks for having me on. Doing fantastic and smelling nice as well tonight.
Pleasure.
Those in the know. Happy
birthday, did you get the old essence?
Did you get you got the order? Fantastic.
I did. Thank you very much. Yes, I shall be in touch for Santa later on.
Fantastic.
I can smell you from here, Sharky. You smell amazing.
Yeah, I'm just wondering how you're 21, because I do agree with you, because I'm only 23 and
exactly. You see, my beard still got some black in it, so it's that 2 extra years of being a Forest fan you have on me. That's the thing, isn't it? It's 2 more years. My beard's going to be as good looking as yours.
Yeah, and I do find
I question Ez and Joe, Sharky. Look how black and blonde they are. You can tell they haven't gone through the hardships.
It's been a hard life. I think it's because I've got some Scottish blood in me, and I had to dye the ginger hair had to go to darker, then it started falling out, and then I dyed the ginger beard to grey.
Well, it looks good, mate. It looks good, and you're right. We got to be tough as nails having Scottish. I was born on the coldest day recorded. Fun fact, in Edinburgh. Really? Yeah, it was like, I think it was like minus 19 degrees or something in Edinburgh. Wow. Yeah, obviously I remember it well. But
you were there.
Oh, I did a little vlog on it.
Well, his first vlog of the day, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, was that one of them? Bless you. But yeah, no, great to have you on, Andrew, mate, and thank you so much for your support. You're a real legend on this platform altogether, mate, because you support all of us, and it's so we're grateful. I won't speak for everyone, but I know that everyone loves your support, and thank you so much, mate, for helping us out. But yeah, really appreciate it. Just give me a second. I've got someone at my door. I'm gonna just switch my mic off for a second. Give me a second.
As far as
I think that comes from the Forest community. That, to be honest, 100%. I think we all owe thanks to people like Wolverine. He's brought a lot of people together that probably wouldn't have bothered a couple of years ago. It's come together at the right time. The pandemic seems to be petering out a little bit, and yet we've all still got into that habit of stopping in 7 nights a week, looking for things to do. I mean, I should be out dancing tonight. It's Friday night, but here I am again. I've already worked it out. I'm spending more time and more money on Wolverine than I do on my missus. So that's why I've gone back to Ayres, and I've got to get some nice scents for my wife at Christmas. So we'll be in touch, looking to do a deal. And but what I'm saying is, I think it's made me appreciate that what I've got, and if I can help anybody, and some of the causes that we've supported on this, like the NHS, supporting the channels, like you guys, the creators, to get you still being able to do it, because you give up a lot of time, and it's not cheap to do. Again, Ezra's business with his scents, I'm happy to support any local business that is part of our community. So thanks again to Wolverine and the other.
The thanks has to go to you and the rest of the guys in the community. This community is one of the nicest. And I genuinely mean that. I go on I speak to a lot of other fan bases. And you just don't have that family feeling, like you do on this. I spent time, obviously it's my birthday, I spent time with my actual family. I said to them, right, I got to go and spend some time with my Forest family now. They were cool with it because they know how much I love you guys, so it's like you got to, it just feels like a family. That's what I love about it.
Wolverine, while we're on that, what's current running total on the NHS fund that we're
£1,506 plus another £75 with the gift aid as well, so pretty much at 1,600, which is absolutely unbelievable. Is
guys,
unreal.
I mean, I'm sure
everyone donated, even if it was 99p or 100 quid, everything just added up and counted. And they send their deepest thanks. They said it's going to make a huge difference to some of the projects they're doing at the Nottingham Hospital's charity. We got the T-shirts out. I've had a few messages from some of the guys say they've got it, which is fantastic. But yeah, it touches the heart. It really does. It really does.
Yeah, it's really heartwarming. I was just going to say on that, I mean, I'm sure most of the guys in our chat have already donated, have been part of your channel. But Omar, if you get a chance, can you post the link in the chat for the NHS fundraiser as well? Because every little bit that we can all do is going to such a good cause, and it's really great that Wolverine's had the feedback off the guys he's been in contact with, and they've really appreciated the support. And like you said, it's going to go to really good cause, and we've got some really worthwhile ventures that we want to use it on. So that's really important. Every penny literally has helped and will help. And just to reiterate what he said, I can't. Me and Joe had the confidence to do this because we saw how much love there is in this community, and not that we were fearful of coming on and do, but it's a little bit daunting, when you start your own channel and you're putting yourself out there, because you can't take anything back. Whatever you say, it's kind of set in stone, and people can't possibly, come back and attack you on it. But end of the day, we've always been truthful, and every show that I've been on and with the people that I go on, we've always been truthful and honest and tried to give our opinion in the best way possible, and that's all we ever encourage. Be respectful of each other, but please, if you've got a viewpoint that's different to anybody else's, don't be scared to share it. We all listen and we all give our opinions and we all do it respectfully, and that's what I encourage. But yeah, back to Joe. Joe, you we'll hit Andrew with the questions that we had backstage for him.
Yeah, no, I think they were all really good points, and that's why I wanted to make sure we were definitely giving it all the time that it truly needed. Because as someone whose girlfriend works with the NHS, I know how important it is, and everything. Yeah, the amount of times that she comes home from work and just has so many stories, and then all I do, I just come home and like my biggest nightmare of the day was the coffee machine was out of action for about half an hour. So.
But Joe, I bet she never asks for thanks, does she? That's what I love about NHS. They get on, they'll put extra hours in, silently do it, and just get up the next day and carry on. And I'll moan if my meeting overruns by 15 minutes at work, It just shows you the mentality of people like me and then the people like them. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. But yeah, bringing it back to Forest and the season review. Sharky, we're going to hit you with the hard-hitting questions about Forest so far this season. So first one is going to be kind of the overall summary of the season so far in the review. How do you think that Forest have performed in relation to probably how you kind of expected them to do up to this point?
I think, like a lot of us, at the start of the season, I saw all the players we were buying and started to think, oh, we're going to have one of the best midfields in the Premier League. We're going to have a brilliant striker and we're going to do fantastic and we're going to be well into the top half. Then I watched the first couple of games, and for the first time for many years for me, I watched Premier League games rather than the Championship. And I thought, my God, look how quick it is. Just look at the control of those players, those pinpoint passes across the pitch. And it wasn't what I was expecting. And we sort of got overrun a little bit in the first 2 or 3 games. We just didn't seem to get to grips with it. And it frightened me. I really did start to think, I can't see where any points are coming from. I can't see that team gelling quickly enough. And that sort of went on for 6, 7 games. During that sort of 5, 6, 7 games, I'm one of the fans that's saying, come on, we don't want Cook in the team. We don't want McKenna in the team. Drop all these players. Where's all these star players that you brought in? Get them in the team. I want to see them playing. And then we finally changed formation and we went to a bit of low block football, which again started to frighten me to think we're not going to score many goals at this. It's going to be a really long, hard season. And so I'd sort of revised my sort of estimation, thinking they might just gel, it might come together. 17th would be brilliant at the end of the season. Having said that, looking at the last few games, our percentage for possession of the ball's gone up slightly. I think in the Spurs Cup game we had over 40%, 45%, and that was an improvement for me. And it seemed to start working. So I'd sort of give us I think we were expecting too much, not necessarily what the club were expecting. Good point. So I would probably say overall for the season up to now, 15 games in, I'd give us a C- at the moment. I don't think we're achieving what we should do, but I do see green shoots coming, and my prediction for the end of the season is going to be about 15th. I really do believe now that we will pick up enough points. I think a lot will depend on the next 2 games that we've got. Manchester United away, Chelsea at home. If we can pick up 3 points out of those 2 games and keep that momentum going, I think we're going to be all right. But at the same time, I'd be very wary of taking 2 stuffings that put us adrift again and having to make up 4 or 5 points. But I am confident now. I really do believe that get the right players in. Cooper doesn't go mad and start saying just because we've picked up 5 or 6 points in a few games, let's go back to a back 3. Can't wait to see Scarpa. But again, I don't think he'll immediately come in. I really do think we might not see him till February time. And a lot more confident now. And at the moment, I'm enjoying the break without having the stress on a Saturday, Sunday, or Monday, whenever it is, of waiting those immortal words booming out my ears of an hour to go. Let's see the team sheet. Wolverine's voice comes into my ears every panic. And I start looking at them. And one of the channels I look at for the team, they don't list the team in position.
They do it in numerical order.
And I'm trying to work out who's where.
It's become part of my match day routine as well. Waiting for, I don't wait for Forest to announce it. I wait for Wolverine to send me through the match match lineup, and then we'll have the pitch about it for a little while. But it's I agree with a lot of what you said there, Andrew. So if has there been one specific performance or game that has stood out for you so far this season?
Yeah, definitely. It was really Spurs in the cup.
Yeah.
No pressure game. Fresh players in the team. Fresh belief in that team. They'd not half of that team hadn't been beaten 6-0 and 5-0 before, and they came in with a point to prove. And Wolverine's brother sat on the other side. It all made it so sweet, and I really did enjoy that game. It was back to the old times. I remember when Steve Cooper came, he promised us that we were going to have a Forest identity again of playing attacking football at home and not the low block stuff that we've got, which I understand the reasons why we've been doing it. We've been desperate to get points, but we got back to that where 40% doesn't seem a lot, but it's a big improvement from 28-29% possession. We've been allowing teams to have the ball on our own pitch. So that one was a great one. And before that, you go back to that West Ham game, that first game back in the Premier League at the City Ground. We were lucky, but we got the 3 points and we all started dreaming of the Europa League and things like that. I think we've all tempered it a little bit now. But yeah, the shoots are showing. I think the green shoots are showing. And if we keep it up, there are certainly 5 or 6 teams worse than us in the Premier League.
Can I ask Sharky a question?
Sure.
And the chat. What position, Sharky, do you think we need the most in January? Would you look to strengthen? Is it one? Is it two? Is it a couple?
Well, I think I would like a striker, a proven goal scorer, because I don't think we're scoring enough goals. I think we will hold it together at the back. We've certainly improved. I'd like to see another central defender who's fast. And I'd like to see a striker. If we are going to spend another, let's say, £80 million on players, I'd rather see a £40 million striker and a £40 million central defender, and not 6 players at 15 million or 10 million. I don't want to see any of that.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that too much, to be honest. And yeah, you're right. I mean, and there are rumours he's going to spend up to 100 million in this January transfer window. And I 100% agree with you. I'd rather get the quality rather than the quantity. And if we can, it will just give such a big boost to our well, not our motivation so much, but just to the fan base. And I think it would send a message out to our rivals, because we've seen them. Wolves have spent some big money this season so far, and their players aren't really paying off. We'll see what the difference is once they get the new manager in place, but they're the kind of teams that we're going to be battling against. So any advantage we can get on the teams in and around us, I'd agree with you on that one, Andrew.
Yeah, I'd like a hero. To quote Billy Davis, I'd like a stellar player come in. Someone to worship. You know what I mean? That's what I'd like to say. I don't think we're far off in terms of the players that we've got and the players in the background. If they get a run, but I do think January is going to come, and I think there's going to be a couple of them perhaps terminating the loan moves and moving out. I could see Bardet, is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah.
Saying, no, I'm not happy. I don't know where Lodi's going to be come January. I think we've got the basics right, but I'd love to have somebody who, like Stan Collymore could, and like Antonio could, who could turn a bit of magic on when a game's not quite going the way we want it and score a goal out of nothing.
Yeah. I think
it's a shame that we missed out on Bashwai, because he's scoring in the Turkish league, and he would have been a free signing. That one still bugs me a little that we didn't get it over the line, but it is what it is. He would have been really good.
I think you hit on a lot of really good points there, Sharky, and I think you kind of approach it the right way in terms of what we need to do in January. If we are going to spend, we know to not replicate what we did in the summer and try and buy as many as we can and hope that some of them stick. If we make a couple of real statement signings and, like you say, try and find that true hero that's going to be able to inspire the fans and the rest of the team to kind of get behind them, I think that's probably the right way forward. And I think Wolverine probably say we've probably already found a hero, judging by the way that he was raving on about his #1 pick that we picked up in the summer. Don't want to spoil that video. It was an absolute banger, your top 10. So anyone that wants to watch that and see what he did, I'm sure if you go to his YouTube channel, it will be there, and it is a definite good watch. So I couldn't agree more with the at least top 2 and top 3 that were in there. A couple of changes that I would have made, but I'll leave that for another time once everyone's had a chance to watch it. But I think you answered a lot of the questions that we had there, Sharky. And the last one kind of that we've got before we move on and then bring someone else in is, who's been your favourite player so far this Premier League season? Has it been someone that's been with Forest for the past few years and was part of our championship squad, or is it someone that we brought in and has kind of shown a real light and real attachment to Forest?
Oh, this is where I'm going to be controversial to get kicked out. It would be none of the players that were promoted last year. I don't believe in sentiment in football. I don't believe any of them have really shown anything that's really sparkling so far. There's been a lot of effort from people like Yates and Worrell. But my player, he's not the best player, I would say, is Aurier. I rate him very highly, in Mangala, possibly O'Brien. But the one that, for me, is going to be personality of the season so far, and the one that I'm backing is one that's took a lot of stick. And a lot of it's got to do with the last couple of games and the bench cam that's been shown and the video that he's released, because I've suffered with mental health, anxiety type issues over my life, and I'm backing Lingard to come into one of those heroes in the second part of the season. I don't know why, just a hunch. He is a good player. He's not become a bad player overnight, and I think he's been doing a lot of work off the ball. He's not been playing in a successful team to be able to show all the flair that he's got. But the last couple of games, he's started to show some bits, and he seems to have come out of his shell again with some of the things that he's saying. Cooper obviously still thinks a lot of him. And even if he doesn't play in every game, I think he's been a great personality in the background for the rest of the team. So he's my tip to watch in 2023.
Kick him off.
That's a very bold shout there. I think
it was. I wanted to see Wolverine's face drop.
It dropped. It dropped.
It definitely dropped. I was sat there just watching him just drop.
I was thinking, is he going to say
Matthew was talking about? But I think we could probably interview probably almost 99% of the Forest fan base, and I don't think they'd probably say Lingard, but I do agree with some of the points that you're saying there in terms of like a personality standpoint. You can see how much he's meaning and how much he's helping bring, especially that attacking core of players that we're starting together. I think that kind of came to light once he scored that goal against Spurs in the cup, and you could just see everyone. You could see it on the bench cam as well. You saw Morgan Gibbs-White, who was at the far end. As soon as that goal went in, he sprinted across to that side of the pitch.
Remember, I said personality. I didn't say he was the player of the season. I picked out there Aurier, Mangala, and Lodi. So I think, people like Wolverine will probably be more inclined to agree with me on those.
You can keep him on now. You can keep him on now. Well,
he's redeemed himself.
I wouldn't be terminating his contract in January. You've only got to go back a month, and a lot of us were calling for the club to terminate his contract and get rid of him in January. I'm not asking for that now, and I'm not going to be quite as critical as I have been of management and the players now, because I do think it's been a lot harder.
You're right.
to build that team. And I hope I'm not eating my words come May, because I am desperate to remain in the Premier League. I do not want to give up that opportunity that they've tried for 23 years to get back in the Premier League. You've seen the lift in Nottingham. You've seen the lift in everything, businesses, the whole area, even this type of community. It's brought us all together, and I don't want to see us throw it away and end up playing Hull next year and all those teams. So that's all I can add. And I think, I've had my say. I think we should bring some more knowledgeable people on. And if Wolverine
forgives me, let's end the show. We'll end the show now. No, fantastic.
There's nothing to add, is there? There's nothing to add. I kind of do echo what he said about Lingard. Look, I'm not Lingard's biggest fan, but I would love nothing more than for me to have to release a video saying he's the man now, Yeah. But I'm not as forgiving as Sharky. I need more than one game in the league before I'm convinced. But that's just me. I know a lot of people have different opinions, but I really hope he turns it around, because we all want the same thing, don't we?
Yeah,
absolutely. And also to be able to admit when when our opinions might be wrong at some point, But it's a really great point Andrew made there, especially about the mental health side of it, because we don't really delve into it because we don't have the means to do so. But when a player comes out and opens up and tells us how they're feeling, we can't ignore it, and we can't dismiss it, and it gives us a better understanding, because obviously they're in a different bubble to us, they're a different world to us, but real life problems and real life issues are the same for all of us. We all have anxieties, we all have things that we need help with, and to be able to come out and say that's always the first step to any recovery, isn't it? So really great points raised there, Sharky, and thank you so much for your time today and your support again. Get in contact soon. We'll certainly be able to I'd love to have you on anytime we do a stream as well, mate. So put yourself forward and we'll definitely get you on. And
can I just say about Sharky as well, just forget the support, forget that he's a Forest fan, but as a person, there's not a lovelier man that I've spoken to, honestly. And that's saying something, because all the guys we speak to are amazing. But Sharky, is just something so nice and genuine about you, and I appreciate the fact that you're in our lives. It's an absolute joy to get to speak to you on the occasions we do. And it's choking me up a little.
One last question for me as well, because hopefully once we're back up and running with the league games, and hopefully I'll still have the support to be able to get fans to the games. What's the last game you managed to get to watching Forest, either home or away?
Oh, well, I'm only a young man. It was in 1959. My record is that I've supported Forest since the mid-70s. When I was younger, I used to go everywhere. I was there when Stan Collymore scored that winning goal all the way down on the coast. I've been to Grimsby when the game's been fogged off and you've got to go back home and come back again 3 months later. But I sort of, when I moved out of Nottingham about 7 years ago, I never renewed my season ticket. Always thought it would be a case of dead easy to get tickets at the City Ground. And things have moved on. So not living in Nottingham and not having a season ticket, not being in the membership type thing means that I've had to rely on Sky Sports, Radio Nottingham for my football. So it's about 7 years since I last went. One day I'll go again.
Well, you've given me a mission then for me and the guys in the chat as well. Anything we can do to get you to a game after the break ends, and we'll certainly do that, my friend. And it's a shame that you had to move to enemy territory, but you are where you are, and
it's awful.
Well, I bet it's not at the moment. I bet you can hold your head up high, while they're struggling to beat Accrington Stanley and all these other teams out there.
Sharky, you're in Derby now.
Yeah.
I didn't want to say it. He is, yeah.
I mean, it's a difficult way. The tale for me is I was born in Derby.
Get him off!
Yeah, sorry.
But I started supporting Nottingham Forest when I started taking an interest in football in 1977. When 1976, my dad came in and said to me at the end of the season, "Oh, Andy, Forest have been promoted today." He says, and they've got Cloughie as the manager, and they'll win the league next year. And I'm a Forest fan. And then I went to school in Derby and took all the stick. I went to school with Nigel Clough, Brian Clough's nephew, Stephen. And I went through that period of, how as kids you tease each other when you've lost a game at the weekend. Forest went 42 games unbeaten, didn't they? So I never had the Mickey taken out of me, and Derby were declining. And that's where I've been. And I'll always have red blood, and that's just the way it is.
Bless you.
I lived in Nottingham for a few years before I married my wife, and then we moved back here basically for the kids and the grandparents and things like that. So that's where we are.
Amazing.
Yeah, no, I'll certainly be on the lookout for any spare tickets, and I'll give you a shout if anything becomes available when we return to Premier League football. But thank you again, Andrew, so much for your time and support.
It's
and
a pleasure.
Thank you for all your time. Keep doing what you do, lads.
Cheers.
Thanks
Thank
so
you,
much.
Andy.
Throw me out, Ez.
Yeah,
Get
back to Derby, mate. Get back to Derby.
Yeah.
Cheers, Sharky.
See you later.
So lovely. So I love that guy.
Yeah, what a legend.
Yeah.
Have we got anyone else waiting, Joe?
Yeah, we've got a couple of people still waiting. So just going through the chat now. Now, it's been taking a while to get through that. I think probably the best way of bringing it back is going back to Wolverine's donations that he's taking, and our next guest saying donating the money that he was saving for your birthday present.
Yeah.
So our next guest, Mark, give it a thumbs up when you're ready.
He's happy. Hey.
He's dyed his hair. He's dyed his hair to try and look like he's a stressed out Forest fan. Yeah, he's not. He's really 50, and that's real grey. Yeah.
How you doing, Mark?
60 next year, mate.
Nah, I want to give you 60.
Yeah, 60 next year.
I think I said about 65. I'm going to abuse him. He's been abusing me on my DMs at Twitter.
Help me all.
Yeah.
Bless you. Great to see you, Mark. Great to have you on the show, my friend. And again, you're one great support. Thank you so much for sticking with us and bearing with us all this time, and supporting us through other channels as well. But yeah, great to have you on, my friend. Joe, I'll let Joe fire the questions at you, and we'll get you started, my friend.
Yeah, so the exact same questions that we had with Sharky earlier on. So we'll start off with the same one. How do you rate Forest start to the season so far in comparison to how you were kind of expecting it throughout the summer, building up to it? Has it kind of gone to how you expected? Has it gone a little bit different? Just give us your ratings and your feelings on it.
I think it's been a bit of a mixed bag, really. I mean, I know before the season started, so like several different streams, we're all talking, we're all bigging our chances up. The players were coming in, we were analysing it, saying how good we thought things were. I think the main downside was we were worried about how we were going to get everyone to fit in and gel. Start of the season was a bit of a mixed bag. Like, the expression that was used a lot in the first game was rabbits caught in the headlight against Newcastle. Mm-hmm. Then we didn't play too badly for a while. We had a good game away at Everton, lost near the end, beat West Ham at home, and we had a good win away in the Cup at Grimsby, and then tailed off a bit at the end of August. Although we played well, Spurs beat us at home, and then we got thrashed away at Man City. I think September was the really disappointing one for most people because I think we only had 2 games. The Leeds game got postponed. And, we were ahead in both the games against Bournemouth and Fulham, and lost both of them. And I think a lot of heads went down at that point. A lot of people started talking about we probably weren't going to do as well as we thought at the start of the season, and things didn't look too good for a while. But then we got thrashed by Leicester at the start of October, and things were really low then. A lot of people were talking about Cooper. Was he the right man for the job? Did we want him to stop in the job? But I've sort of like said all along, I've been a staunch supporter of Cooper. Really respect how he got us up, and I've always said I always thought he should be given the whole season, regardless of results. Because he's earned it, and he's a big part of the long-term project. And I'm just really glad that Marinakis, while other teams around us have been sacking their managers, Marinakis gave him an improved contract, a new contract, and he's taken it. And we've been on the upturn really since then, apart from the Arsenal game. Even though we didn't get some of the results we wanted against Villa, Wolves, Brighton, there was positive seeds of recovery there all along. And then we've gone from strength to strength recently. Really good victory against a strong Spurs team in the cup, and then a good result against Palace, and of course the Liverpool game. What a game that was! What a day that was! So it has been a bit of a mixed bag, but I think we're on a current high at the moment, and pity the international breaks come around really.
Can I ask you a question on? Sorry, can I just ask a question on the Cooper thing? Because I do love hearing from this side of the argument. So you said there you feel he should be given the whole season irregardless. So would that include if we went down, you'd still stick? Yeah,
I said that right from the start. And it's like you say, you've looked into it a lot deeper than most people have. You've looked at all the stats, you've done all the analysis. I've seen your streams, and you make very valid points. And the one you kept coming back to was, at the end of the day, the owners, they might pull the trigger, and that's up to them because they own the club. And for me, it's just my personal opinion.
No, it's fine. I want to hear this opinion because I don't hear it as much as I would like to hear it. So I'm interested. I'm asking genuinely about it. So my question really on this, because I want to understand the other side of my argument, if you see what I mean. And Mark, we get on well, so neither of us is going to take offense. But would you see us, so basically we go down, you'd still stick with Cooper. Would I assume you think he'll bring us straight back up, or what do you see as the future?
I think, we've talked about this blueprint that's been laid down. And I have said before in several streams, people have to accept that it may mean we go down this season, but at least we'll be in a good position to try and come straight back up, because we'll have a lot of young players that are on lengthy contracts. And even if they do force the issue and want to go elsewhere, we should still be able to sell them for good money and bring other players in. And, Cooper knows the Championship inside out. He's not going to have any worries about going back down. But, I really do think that we are going to survive there. I always predicted 13th before the season started.
What do I know?
But, that was before I really knew all the players we'd signed before pre-season. And so, once we got into it a bit, and especially after the Bournemouth and Fulham games, I sort of thought, maybe it is going to take longer than I thought. But I still got faith that we will survive.
Yeah, I agree with you. I did see there are shoots. And it's easier to react after a week or so. You've calmed down after seeing, the games and what have you. I just still feel for me that we have no guarantee if we go down. My mantra hasn't really changed in the terms of, my mantra is we're in the Premier League. If the trajectory is we're going down, then I feel there should be change. but because I can't guarantee, because I remember when was it, back in '99 or whenever it was, when it went down, everyone was like, yeah, we'll come back up.
Yeah,
we did it under Clarkey, we'll do it under we did it under Bassett, we'll come, and look where we were. So that's my worry. That's the reason I become passionate about it, because I don't want another 23 years. But I love to hear the other side, because there needs to be a balance to the argument.
And I think for me as well, you've got to remember Cooper is still learning his trade in the Premiership. You know, he's got no previous management experience at Premier League level.
As Ant always says, Mark, we're not a training ground, are we?
No, but you know, he's shown from how he got us together in the Championship that he knows how to go about his business. You know, so I know it's a step up. Everything's a lot faster. The microscopes, you know, on him a lot more in the Premiership. But I you know, personally, he is for me the best manager we've had for years.
Yeah, you can't argue that.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's weathered the storm. Certainly, I think if the last two league games hadn't yielded the points return that it did, I think his job would have been under fire. But like you alluded to, Mark, my argument's always been not that I want him out, but I think that their patience will wear thin in terms of the owners. But I listen to what you say, and I kind of got to agree with you to an extent, because yes, I agree with Wolverine as well. There is no guarantee if we get relegated that we're going to come back up. But with Cooper, I think it's as good a chance as we'd ever have to get back up. I think he's the best manager in that position to be able to get back up. But also, like Wolverine alluded to, if it looks like we're going on such a bad trajectory, if it had continued basically after the Arsenal game and it continued into this World Cup break, I don't think they would have had much choice, to be honest.
No, I agree. I mean, people have got a right to, you know, demand action in that. You know, he's been given a lot of money to spend by the owners. You know, Marinakis stood on the council house balcony and said, I want to give him the tools to be able to compete in the Premier League. And if we'd have got like halfway through, 3/4 of the way through the season, and we had been cut adrift, then quite rightly the argument's there, and you know, opinion would start to lean towards, we need to look. We need to look at.
Would you still have been there, Mark? Would you still say we'd lost the last 5 games in a row, adrift on what were we on 6 points? Would your mind be swaying at all? Or are you like hell stead on keeping?
My mind swayed after the Bournemouth and Fulham games. You know, I did think, you know, we said before the start of the season we need to make City Ground our fortress. Yeah, the crowd needs to be the 12th man. You know, we've seen from last season what the crowd can do to help the team and get behind them when things aren't going so well. And when we lost those 2 games after being ahead, I seriously thought, you know, this isn't going well. And then when we got tonked away by Leicester, you know, that was when things really started looking bad for him. I was just saying that while you were away from screen a moment. But, you know, in the background, I've always had that faith in him.
Yeah. Fair play to you. I respect that side of the argument as well, you know. So
yeah, I think I'm also with you on that, Mark. I think the fact that he's been the first one to bring us up after 23 years, especially after being probably one of the teams that's well renowned for swapping out a manager every year, and I think touching wood that he's still going to be with us throughout the rest of the year. He's going to be the first manager in a long time that's managed to last an entire calendar year with Forest before getting the boot. I just think he's earned that adjustment period, especially with a brand new team coming in and a brand new league. I think he's earned the right to kind of have that little bit of a blip while he's still trying to learn it. If we were still constantly shipping goals and losing games 3-0, 4-0 and looking completely lost and out of our depth in this league, then I probably would be on that board of we need to get someone else in who can probably bring this group of players in again. But I think it's such a specific set of conditions that it's almost brand new to Forest, definitely probably in the league by signing the most amount of players in a single window, with a team that's not been up in the Premier League for such a long time, with a manager who's not managed at this league before. It's just been such a massive adjustment, and I think we're all kind of in agreement that we are now starting to see something come together, especially off the back of the last two games. And if we kind of take the Arsenal game out of the equation, only letting in one goal, two at most for the games, and that's kind of questionable with how it was kind of refereed in those games.
I agree with what you're saying there, Joe, but I don't agree with this take the Arsenal game out of the equation thing, because I hear it a lot.
Oh no, I'm not trying.
It's like not every team in our position or around us went and got tongued 5-0 by Arsenal and 6-0 by City. You can argue that we're still learning, developing, and what have you, but we can't just ignore it because that's made up a hell of a hole in our goal difference, you know.
No, because I think if I was being completely blinded and just kind of such a narrow thought, I'd probably said the same thing after the City game. And then you can kind of see how the impact and the shockwave from that game impacted the rest of the games throughout. Yeah. Because that was when we lost to Bournemouth and then we lost to Fulham at home by conceding 3 goals at home, which we would never even dream of. And that was kind of the shockwave from that game, because all of a sudden we were like, oh, we are in a completely different league now. We are going to have lots of more attempts at us and we're just going to ship more goals. So then we started playing the low block. That just did not work.
Yeah.
And I think, especially after that defeat at Arsenal, you kind of could have expected something similar to happen. You could have been expecting, oh no, we've got 2 more games at home now against 2 teams who we realistically should be trying to compete with. We might end up doing a similar thing, and it might be a case where if we did lose both of those games again, then we would be really concerned. But I think since that Arsenal game, and probably since the couple of games before it, and definitely since it, we've kind of shown more of a team unity, as opposed to, I think, after that City game, where it was still kind of, we didn't know who we were, we didn't know what we were trying to do, we didn't know who our best team is. I still don't think we know who our best team is now, but I think we seem to show more of a drive and a belief. And I think if I was to ask Mark one of the other questions about what his favourite game was, I think I'd probably share the same one. And I think it was one of the other games at home where we kind of all seemed to drive together, and it was one that was won as a team as opposed to one that was won by individual standout performances. Would I be right in assuming that, Mark? I might be completely jumping down your throat and barking up the wrong tree, but what was your kind of like standout game so far this year?
I think probably just shaded it, Liverpool.
Yeah, that's the one I was going to do. Yeah.
Yeah. I got 2. Yeah, I got two really. Everton away, but that was more. It wasn't just more. That was more for the experience, because my first ever away game watching Forest in the top flight was away at Everton in '77 as a 14-year-old. So went upon a football special train with my mates, and then we thrashed them away at Everton. And then my first away game back in the top flight this season was Everton away. So it's like, you know, all that 45 years, those 2 games apart. So that was a special experience for me. But I think in terms of match, Liverpool, because Liverpool, they just didn't expect us to go at them the way we did. We played as a team. Everyone was, you know, there wasn't a bad performance across the team at all. And so that'd be the standout for me so far, I think.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with you on that, you know, and there wasn't a bad, I mean, Wolverine gave everyone a 10 out of 10 for that Liverpool performance. So yeah, it must have been a good one. But I'm with you on the Everton one as well. And but I thought you were going to say it was your best memory because you got to meet me and Ant that day. I think that's what you actually meant to say.
I just saw you at the top of the stand and waved at you.
Yeah, we looked down and there's somebody flashing a camera at us, and it's like, who's that? Who's that? Ant couldn't see with his eyesight. Ant couldn't even see past his nose, but I had to tell him who it was. But yeah, it was Mark who was papping us from the stand. So we got paparazzi that day as well by Mark. But yeah, I'd agree with you on the Liverpool game as well. Just for the all-round experience of that was, for me, it was the one game I was looking forward to most with my rivalry with my brother, my friends, and it was the one that I wanted to win more than anything else. So yeah, I'd agree with you on that one, mate.
We went to the Trent Navigation afterwards as well for a few pints, and talking about Liverpool and Forest, and Colin Barrett walked in.
Oh wow!
So we bought him a pint and we sang him his song night. You know, we put the ball in the Scousers net. He loved that.
Oh bless you! I bet that was a great experience.
Yeah.
I think we have one more. I think the other question was, who's been your favourite player so far this season? So yeah, we'll pick up with that one, Mark.
Yeah, I had to think long and hard about this one, because obviously there's some players who put little cameos in and played really well in spells, and the odd match here and there. You know, as we were talking about earlier, nice to see Lingard coming out of shell a bit now and playing well. Dubs played a couple of good matches really recently after a slow start. But I think for me, the one player who's come in and not put, and mentioned to Yates as well, as always, but the one player who's not put a foot wrong yet for me at all, even though he's not been, you know, really special or anything, he's just not put a foot wrong. Serge Aurier, not done a thing wrong at all yet for me.
Yep. Fully agree.
Yeah, I think especially as one that we probably had a bit of almost a stigma based off of his previous experiences, especially in the Premier League with Spurs. We all kind of thought, oh, maybe he's a bit of just like a floating red card waiting to happen. And I think we could all probably agree with that. He's one that's definitely surprised us all, and I'm so happy that he's kind of become such a embraced player. I think every time that I go on Twitter and YouTube, especially on like the bench cam videos and the reactions, he's someone that's been well embraced, and I think I couldn't agree more. He's probably just the standout player of the season where he's just not put a foot wrong, and I think you put it really well there, Mark.
Even
he's kept Nico on the bench. He's kept Nico on the bench, and Nico's not had a bad season. His stats have been off the charts for tackles won and stuff.
Yeah. And more importantly, so he would, if that question was asked to me purely from the impact he's made, it would be Aurier for me, because I look back at since he's been in this playing, he's been in the team and the squad. We picked up 9 of our 13 points with him playing. That's a huge percentage of what we've achieved so far, and it just made us more solid. So impact-wise, Aurier would be the number one for me. And to think that we got him on the free, but after the transfer window closed, it just shows, what a great sign, what foresight that was, and that's a great signing. And we did all panic a little bit, because all you hear from Spurs fans is he's a red card waiting to happen. Yeah. And it went wrong when he played for him. He was, but he's been everything but that. You know, he's been absolutely solid and probably the first name on the team sheet right now. Yeah, I would
100%.
say.
100%.
So yeah, I think. Have you got any other points or anything else you wanted to raise, Mark, before we get the next guest on?
I know you were talking a bit about Sharky, about what sort of business you expected to do in January. Because I did write something down. One of the points he made about he'd really like to see a marquee striker coming in. I mean, I think we all would. But one of the points he made was that because we're not scoring many, our strikers aren't scoring many goals. But for me, that's because none of them's really had a good run playing up front. Okay. You know, I think, you know, again, I've said it in many streams so far. For me, there's been too many games where we haven't started with the number 9.
Yep.
And when we started with the number 9, which was usually Taiwo, he was scoring.
Yep.
You know, I think, I'm not sure about very recently, but the last game that we started with an out-and-out number 9 was Liverpool. And then straight after Liverpool, he went back to playing.
Apart from the Spurs game, but that was a cup match. In the league, you're right. It was the Liverpool one.
Yeah.
So he went back to playing Johnson, Gibbs-White, and
Lingard,
and then sometimes Dennis. You know, straight after the Liverpool game, which I mean, I'm not saying, you know, he's the manager. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he wants to do. But just for me personally, I think we would have had more points in the bag if we'd have played a number 9 most games.
Fully agree.
I'm all up for changing formation, like for home and away, when we think it needs it. We're playing certain teams who play in certain formations and styles, but especially at home, we should be able to play with a number 9 up front all the time.
Yep. Yeah. Couldn't agree more.
I'd agree. Yeah.
Yeah. Sharky still is
Legend.
Also agrees. So, all right.
Right. I'm sure you want to get rid of me then and get someone else on.
Sure, mate. We've got quite a few people who are on it. So thank you so much for joining.
Mark, I've already reported you to Elon Musk, so those tweets, those DMs have not gone unnoticed.
Bless you, Mark.
All right. See you, lads.
As well. Good to see you, Mark. Have a good one. You Reds.
Cheers.
You Reds.
Yeah, brilliant. I just wanted to quickly get the next guest on. She's had a lot of calls to try and get her on the stream, and she's been very patient with this. So thank you so much for waiting around. Give us a thumbs up when you're ready to come on.
Yeah.
Is it who I think it is?
Yeah.
Is it the legend?
Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
Hi. Yeah, okay, yeah. I'm okay.
You've not been paying the gas bills. What's going on? Or are you outside?
No. I'm in my mum and dad's car. Outside. I'm in Nottingham, and I'm at Eastwood for my cousin's husband's 40th birthday party. So
what a legend! What, his birthday is today as well?
I was going to say.
It's his birthday. His birthday's on the 2nd of December. So, but he's having his party today.
I understand why he'd want it today, because it is the best day of the year. So that makes perfect sense to me. Yeah.
I was thinking you must have been at Michael Dawson's birthday party, because you're not at Wolverine. No one's having a party for Wolverine. He's not even at his own party, to be fair. But no, it's great to have you on, Eve. And I was just saying it's taken so long for us to get back on stream, because you've supported us 100% all the way through. And and you've often asked me, when are you coming back on? When are you guys coming back on? And I wish I could have given you a more. I wish I could have given you a better answer. You know, I just literally didn't know. But it's really great to have you back on. You were on our first ever stream, and you're on our recent stream as well. But yeah, great to have you on, Eve. So did you have you got questions that we posed? I posed to you in the chat. Have you got your answers for those questions?
I think so. You'll have to if you give me them now, then I'll remember. Yeah, I think.
No worries. So one of them was what's been your favourite game or performance so far this season? So which one would you?
I think the home game against Liverpool. That was such a really good game. So, and plus I was at the game, and I just enjoyed that game so much.
Yeah, it was really great to meet you at that game, and you definitely brought us luck that day, because we needed it as well. Yeah, so it's really great to meet so many others that day as well. It was a great day. Have you got any games lined up for the new year that you're planning to come to yet? Or not?
I would like to come to the game against Chelsea, but I'm not 100% sure if I can attend that game. I'm hoping to attend the game. Oh no, sorry, it's got a bit dark in here.
Sorry. Been turned off.
Just give me a second. I'll go a bit where it's a bit lighter. Just give me I just have to have the door open. I'll have to have the door open. So yeah. So I think I want to come to this game against City in February. Against Manchester City in February. I'm happy to come to. I would like to come to some other games in the new year. I would like to see the game. When we play Manchester United at home, I would love to come to that home game.
the scum. Yeah.
Yeah, no, well, keep in touch certainly through Twitter and so and other things. But yeah, there's no what would be always. Oh, it's always good to meet you down there. So the next question was the next question was who's been your favourite player so far this season?
My favourite player so far has to be, I think, Ryan Yates.
That's a good shout.
What have you liked about him the best, Steve? What stood out for you with him?
I don't know. I just think he gives 100% each time he plays.
Yeah.
And I just love his commitment, and and I've always rated him actually. Even ever since when we played West Brom away back in February 2019, I thought I rated him back then, and I've always thought he was a good player. So yeah,
he's a good-looking lad as well, isn't he?
Yeah. And I know that there's another player who I like, and I'm glad he scored his first goal for us last week. And I know, and I really like, especially after the last 2 games. And I hope he continues to get better. I really like Jesse Lingard as well.
Yeah.
You just like the celebration, don't you? That's what it is.
That's what it is, isn't it? The old flute, yeah.
Yeah, I can't do that right now because I'm holding my phone. But
yeah, we'll do it for you right there.
We'll do it for you.
Yeah.
Fantastic. No, I can't. Yeah, I can't fight you on that. Yeah, PhD, 100%. What you'll get from him is you'll leave it on. You won't hold back. He'll give it 100% every time, and that's what you can guarantee from him. So yeah, great choice. And I think there's many that would disagree with you. So last, Joe, do you want to give the last question then?
Yeah. So kind of last question, summarising the season so far. How do you think we're going to do going into the new year? Do you think that Forest are going to be able to stay up?
I do think we'll stay up. I'm confident we will, and I think I would take finishing 17th at this point, but I would have us to finish a bit higher than that, maybe about 15th or 14th. And I actually do think that the break for the World Cup will actually be good for Forest.
Yeah.
I actually think it would be good for the players because they can gel a bit more, and yeah, I actually think it would be good.
Yeah,
good.
And it gives a chance for some of the injured players to get back as well. You know, we've not seen Omar Williams at all. We've barely seen Niakate, and yeah, I agree with you. You know, I think it is, as much as it was a bit annoying because we were getting a little bit form going into it. I think the actual break was well timed. I agree. I think we'll do well. I think we'll stay up as well. And like you, 17th would be good enough, but I would like to be a bit more comfortable. I'd like to have secured our position by 2 or 3 games to go. So yeah, let's fingers crossed. But thank you so much for your time, Eve.
And also, before I go,
sure.
I don't have them on me at the moment, but I have drawn a brand new picture. I can't show it right now because my drawing books are not with me. But maybe next time you do a live stream, would I be able to show them?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Because I've even showed Becky, who's helped me a lot with my artwork, and she said the one yesterday, she said it's my best one yet.
Wow.
So
when are we going to get a picture of me and you?
Next time I'll let you know next time I'm coming to the city ground, and
we'll get a picture, and then you got to promise me a drawing.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Yeah, no, only reason I didn't expect you to have your drawing book with you today, but as you know, we always want to see your pictures. But yeah, definitely. But the next stream we do, Eve, we'll give you the heads up well in advance. But yeah, definitely bring your pictures because I know the fans have missed them as well. I get asked all the time, when's Eve
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I'll DM you one of the drawing I've done. I'll DM you it, and I'll DM you it as well, Wolverine.
Please do, yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Because people said it's my best one. They said it's a really good one. So
that's you're setting. You know, we're thinking now this is a Picasso piece of work now. Yeah, so you know, don't let us down. Yeah, we're building it up. We're gonna have to be impressed now.
Yeah, and I'm currently drawing another picture as well. So hopefully I'll be able to tweak both of them at some point tomorrow. So
no worries, fantastic.
Yeah.
No, thank you, and thank you so much for your support, Eve. Really do appreciate
it.
No, it's great because it's people like you that have made our channel what it is. So keep doing what you're doing because you're really helping us and supporting us, and it motivates us to keep going. You know, so really appreciate your support. You know how much I appreciate your support. So really, thank you so much for everything you've done for me and all the fans behind the scenes. Those who know. So Eve, thank you very much for your support. We couldn't have done what we've done without you. So thank you so much.
Yeah.
And, go and enjoy your party. Go and have some birthday cake.
Yeah. When my dad came out to tell me that my mum's got me a plate of food, so I'm gonna go and eat now.
Yeah.
So because I'm starving. So.
Your cousin's birthday.
My cousin's husband. So
tell him we all wish him a happy birthday, and he's chosen the best day of the year.
Yeah, will do.
Send him a happy birthday from a Forest Fans Hub and everybody on the street.
Will do. Yeah.
Appreciate it. See you again soon and keep in touch.
Hey.
Thank you.
Thank you. See you soon.
I can't do that. How do you do it? It's like that, No, man, that's just the blob. That was the blob.
That was awful. Sorry.
You're about to eat a sandwich, man.
I was having a cob, as you probably thought in Nottingham. Joe, do we have anyone else waiting behind scenes? I can't believe
we have another established Forest Fans Hub member. Also was part of Wolverine's stream where I kind of made my return.
Oh, it's not, is it? Oh,
I mean, I'm probably the only one that's able to kind of have a look at the moment. I'm pretty sure that the pictures are almost level. I might be a bit wrong. I'm sure I'll be able to kind of give a bit more of an indication. Can you give us a thumbs up when you're ready, mate?
Please be megaphone. Please be megaphone.
It's
bro.
Hello.
Who woke him up?
I've got to go cut my birthday cake. Sorry.
Happy birthday, Mr. Wolf. 50 today.
Thank you, mate. Thank you, mate.
And we had to do it. I'm sorry. You know we love you, but we had to do it. You set us up for it, mate. You set yourself up for it. Thank you for joining us, mate. You're an absolute legend. How you doing?
Well, all right. After all the insults about my DIY skills.
Well, Joe's the only one who hasn't insulted you, so I'll let you converse with
Joe. Go.
Good evening, Anne. How are you doing?
I'm all right, Joe. Nice to speak to somebody sensible for a change.
Oh, it's always a love to speak to you as well, mate. So thanks so much for coming back to us and joining us again. I know it's been a bit of a time since we've been on this channel especially, but we've kind of spoken definitely since. So glad to see that you're doing well and that you're I feel like there's something that you're trying to prove here that was never needed, but I'm glad that it's kind of there just to let us know and finally put it to bed.
That bubble.
Has anybody in the chat spotted it yet? Yeah, we have. Yeah.
You just put up Trevor Francis's tracksuit's comment on. He's killed me with that as well.
Bless you.
Piss off. Look, you've had lovely guests on tonight. They've all been spoken very well.
Yeah, then we got you.
And then you bring me on.
We had to give a reason to end the show, mate. So you're on.
Wait, before you start, The other one doesn't look level. No one complained about that one.
Don't start him off. Don't start him off.
You know what? I'm gonna make a video.
Yeah.
I'm gonna upload it
You
to
said that
YouTube.
after the Bournemouth match. We're still waiting.
I know, yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. So lazy. Well, these people don't realize how much effort you guys put into this. It takes a lot of bloody work, I tell you. I mean, like you just intimated there, my sort of vlogs, such as they are, I'm only up to Bournemouth. I've got them all over my laptop, all these bloody folders. Yeah, whenever, yeah. Anyway, I've got 13 subscribers now.
If you'd give me a link, you'd have 14.
Yeah, okay. I'm not like you. I'm not a whore.
He could. I don't know who he was referring to. He could have been talking to you, me, you or me. More like,
Come on, ask me some questions.
What do you want to? Joe's had enough.
I don't blame him. I don't blame him.
Do you
That's
want
all right. I was going to make if I'm being completely open and transparent, I was going to make a quick dash to the loo, but all of a sudden I got a lot of hate for doing that. So now I'll stick around and I'll ask the question now. So
listen, we professionals have a glass just below level.
Mate, I've just been constantly topping it up. I mean, we've been live for an hour and 20 minutes. And my pint glass used to have almost stayed at the exact same level the entire way through, but I've been sipping. So,
wow.
Yeah. So,
Go ahead, Joe. You asked.
And can you give us a quick or not even quick? I'll
going to say quick.
5 minutes. So take your
number
time.
1 or 2, Joe. What are we looking at here, time wise?
I'll let you know when I come back. So, and in 2 minutes or 20 minutes, depending on how long I take, how do you think the season's gone so far? Has it been to your expectations? How would you rate the Forest season so far as a review?
Right, Joe. Right. Before the season started and we got the squad together, I was very encouraged. I thought we've got a lot, and I've said all along, I've been consistent. That squad is Premier League standard, no doubt about it in my mind. Right, we have the players. And Stevie Cooper, we all love Stevie Cooper. We don't need to talk about that. We all love Stevie Cooper. And I had utter faith in him. But after the Leicester match, that was the first time I had any doubts, because I thought the Leicester match, we actually went backwards. And I could not see where the improvement was going to come. However, since then, I have been encouraged. And you guys have been talking about, well, if we go down, and is he the right man? I'm not even thinking about that. I'll be honest with you. I don't think we're going to go down at all. I think we're going to stay up. I think there are far worse teams than us, and I think we will improve as the season goes on, which we all knew. We all said at the beginning of the season, it's going to take time for this team to gel. It's going to take time to get the right players, in the right positions, because they're all new. I mean, and I think we are getting there. And the question's been asked about what's been your favourite game, and controversially, I would probably go for the Palace match, because I actually thought we looked a team in that match, and I thought we deserved to win that match. And I thought that going forward, if we continue to play like that, we'll be okay. So that's why I would pick that particular game as the most the most encouraging match. And I agree with Sharky. I agree with Sharky. I think Jesse Lingard, I think he could be our ace in the hole come the latter stages of the season. I think he will come good.
Yeah, I've got a sneaky feeling about that. Once he said that, I was like, yeah, you know what? You might not be wrong. I think with what he came out with personally about what he's been going through as well. And we know that most footballers are confidence players, but he's probably more so than most. And I think he's got the tail between his legs a little bit now, and he's you can see it in his face, you can see it in his attitude on and off the pitch, and you can see there seems to be something's clicked for him, and let's hope benefit. And it hasn't happened too late for him. But yeah, I'm encouraged.
I think he's one of those players. I don't know if you agree. I think he's one of those players that needs to be confident. He needs to feel loved. He needs to feel part of the setup. And I think he's getting it. I think he's getting it.
And that, you just touching on that, and I think that's kind of why Cooper has persisted with him because just for that reason alone, he needs to be like the star player. He needs to be feeling that he's loved, and I think that's what Cooper tried to do. It just didn't seem to work at the time. But like you said, the last few games, we've definitely seen a difference. We've seen something that's changed in him.
And one of the most encouraging signs for me is him and MGW really seem to like each other. You know what I mean? On a human level, they really seem to like each other. And I think that's a good thing. Because if those two didn't get on, I don't think there'd be any chance. Do you know what I mean? But they really seem to get on. What do you think, Wolfie?
I think off the pitch, they look like really good friends.
Yeah.
I think that we should not jump the gun. We all jumped the gun after Liverpool, and we got tonked at Arsenal.
Yeah.
Like, I know everyone's saying Jesse's had 2 good games, but there's only 1 league match, and I don't care about the cup. For me, it's what happens in the league. So I'm not going to jump the gun on Jesse Lingard at all. He's had 14 crap games before that in the league, or however many he's played. But don't get me wrong, I want him to do well because he's a Forest player. End of the day, we're all in agreement on that. That's not for discussion, but I'm not ready to jump the gun on him yet. I would like to see 4 or 5 games of consistent performances, but I still want a striker in front of him.
I want. I mean, you asked the question earlier on about, if you could pick 1 or 2 players. Yeah, I would say a goal scorer, but they're not easy to come by. I still think Taiwo needs to be given an opportunity.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, good enough running in the team. But I mean, I think we're just encouraged Wolverine more than anything else. I don't think anybody's.
Well, I think on Lingard has been jumped, man. I really do. He's performed. He's had give him 2 good games. Yeah, that's fine. But we gotta be real. We gotta be calm on it. We can't just jump from 0 to 100 and then back down to 0. Let's see him. Let's keep the challenge in his hands. Let's just say to him, okay, fantastic, great 2 games. Yeah. Now go and do it for another 4 or 5 games. Give us.
I agree with that. But don't you agree that also that if a player starts to show his potential, then it's encouraging?
Yes.
Nobody's saying it's done and it's going to be fantastic, but
I do. But I even remember Andre Salenzi having the odd good game back in the day.
I loved Andre Salenzi. I only one.
But that's all I'm saying is I'm not, after I, like Ez was saying earlier, when I was given 10-10-10 after Liverpool and then we get slapped by Arsenal, I'm not going to do that again this season. I'm just going to, unless we go on a 42 game run like we've done before. But I just want to see consistency. I don't even want to see him go 10 out of 10. Yeah, I just want 7 out of 10 solidly each game from him. And then I'm more than happy to turn around and say I was wrong. He's perfect for us and all this. That's exactly what I want to be saying. But let me see 4 or 5 7 out of 10s in a row. That's what I want to see with him.
Yeah, because you're a Forest fan and you support your players, it doesn't mean you have to be blind, does it? If a player's not playing well, he's not playing well. Yeah. Exactly. But if he starts playing well, you could think, oh, good, keep going. And hopefully you'll be, a great...
I'll be the first to cheer him scoring a goal, man. I'd cheer anyone who scores a goal, even if Ant went on the pitch. I'd throw pelters at him, but if he scored, I'd celebrate,
And I would.
I could see you getting up in the air, and you're a tall lad.
Well, I don't know about getting up in here, but yeah.
You got up for ground, mate. I don't know about getting in the air.
It's a good job I'm being respectful of this stream. You know that, don't you?
Yeah, appreciate it, mate. Appreciate it. Right, so next.
How come he doesn't swear on your stream, but he swears on mine?
We're not monetized, so we can demonetize us if he wants. He's not going to lose it.
Yeah, but that's the fun of it, though.
Can I ask you a question? Because Daryl's put the question in here. Daryl, thank you. I'm going to nick it. Do you think Coops is going to run a fluid front 3 in the new year of MG Dub, Scarpa, and Lingard? as he seems to prefer the system at the moment. I'm going to modify it slightly. Do you think Scarpa's going to come into the team or not?
Well, it's not going to come straight into it. Well,
why? He's had a full season.
No, I love
fresh.
him. Don't get me wrong. I love him. I would.
I know you do.
But I'm not Cooper. You know what I mean? No, I think he'll. I think, to be honest, I think he'll bring him, on the suspension. He'll keep with what he's got. Why not? At the moment. But I think that give the first opportunity he gets to get him on there, like he does with Freuler, like he does with Loddy, the sort of real quality players in there that we brought in from outside. I think that's what he'll do. He'll have him on the bench to start with. Pretty standard stuff, really, isn't it? You bring a new player in, new to the country as well. Don't forget. He certainly looks a character. He looks like he's got a lot to offer. I mean, like all of us, I expect. I've watched his YouTube reel, and he's exciting, isn't he? He really is exciting. I'm excited.
His stats as well. When you break his stats down, they're impressive.
And he's played in the championship winning team in Brazil. It's not like he's come from a lower Brazilian side, or you know what I mean. He's come from the champions of Brazil. Well, that's going to be.
I've had loads of messages off the back of the video I did on him the other day from Palmero fans, and they've all said, "You've got a gem. You've got a gem. We're going to miss him. He will be able to cut it in the Premier League."
They loved him, didn't they? He was a big part of their championship winning team, alongside Danilo, who's now been bigged up for Arsenal. You know,
I thought it was really surprising he didn't even get into the Brazil squad, because coming from, like you said, the champions of Brazil, and being such a key player, I thought it was a little surprising, because there's players in that Brazil squad that I would have put him ahead of. But
they tend not to do that, though, do they? They tend not to pick their own, or the players from their own country. Funnily enough, we're the opposite. You know, if an English player's playing abroad, like the ex-Chelsea guy, the ex-Chelsea guy, Tomori. Yeah, because he's playing for the Italian champions. Southgate decides that Harry Maguire is better.
Oh, you are talking about Tomori.
Tomori.
He played for the Italian champions last season every game. But no, he picks Maguire, who can't even get into a shitty Man U defence.
He started.
There goes your monetization. But yeah, they are disappointed that Scarpa's not going to Brazil. A lot of the fans from Palmeiras have been saying that. So I think it's better. He needs a break. He's had 35 games off the top of my head.
Yeah, so I mean, it's good for us. It's good for us.
Yeah.
I think.
And he speaks English as well, doesn't he? Which is a huge advantage for any foreign player coming in. I mean, I can't imagine, I don't know about you guys, but I can't imagine what it must be like to go into a dressing room where you cannot understand a word anybody's saying. That must be so isolating, you know what I mean? So difficult to cope with. And I think Loddy, I don't think his English is any good, is it? So for Loddy to come over, even though he's a fantastic player, to be in that dressing room and not understand a word that anybody's saying must be so difficult.
Yeah.
I mean, there must be players that do. I mean, he speaks Spanish, doesn't he? Oh, Loddy speaks Portuguese. There's bound to be somebody in there. I think one of our
Cafu.
Well, there's Cafu definitely, and there's even one of our physios is Portuguese. So there's definitely. I think you very rarely will find a certainly Premier League squad where there isn't somebody from who either speaks your native tongue.
Yeah, but you know what it's like? It's in a dressing room. It's all about togetherness, banter, having a laugh. That's the biggest thing. Yeah, and he can't join in with that.
Yeah, of course. And the other thing is,
I also think that's something that's more part of English culture as well, because I think the way we have our banter in the UK would be very different to how the Spanish players banter and Portuguese players and Italian players banter. So there is space for all sorts, obviously, and I'm really looking forward to seeing him. But I think he can work in with certainly with Gibbs White, whether you put Lingard in as well. But you think he'd be tempted just because he's left-footed and he plays on the right, cutting in. We watched the highlights between us, didn't we? And at yours the other day, and most of his play was left from a right hand cutting in. And I think, I think you put it on on your stream as well.
His heat map. His heat map the whole season's been on the right.
Yeah.
Yes, don't tell everybody how sad they are that when we meet up, we watch bloody years of potential Forest signings.
We did that. We had a bike out, and I remember straightened your photos, didn't we? I think that's how I spent the evening with you. But he makes the meanest coffee as well. He's got the nicest coffee machine. He made me a cup of coffee, and I thought there was some proper gourmet shit there, mate. It was lovely.
Shame his walls are so bent.
I'll come round for a coffee.
Would you put Scarpa in, Joe? I mean, if we're being honest about it, and this is the crux of it, he'd have to replace Jono. That would be the right position, I think, for him. Would you be willing to do that, Joe?
I mean, I think we'd only have to kind of hark back. Well, I mean, it'd be almost a few months ago when we signed Ryan and Loddy on loan, and we had you on stream, and you were saying get him in immediately, and I was saying, well, no, Toffolo's doing not terribly. So
I was right though.
But so I'm going to end up with a lot of splinters in my arse here. I think I'm going to sit on the fence on this one.
What a surprise.
Well, I mean, we're in a position here where we're struggling to find goals. So all of a sudden, bringing someone who's won awards in Brazilian football this season, we're signing him as an attacker. It almost seems like it is logical that he will be in part of our lineup definitely at some point to be able to try and bring some more goals in, which is something that was definitely lacking. Does he come in immediately, which I think is part of the question now. I'm always going to struggle with that just as an immediate thing to kind of bring in. I just don't think it's the right decision. But I'm more than happy to eat my words and be proven wrong if he comes in and all of a sudden is immediately linking up with the guys that we've already got up there. But I'd rather be giving Taiwo Awoniyi a second chance rather than bringing someone new in and saying,
let me see if I can get your ass off that fence, right? Let's say Wales have a decent run in the World Cup. I know they're not going to. Let's say they get to quarterfinals or something, yeah?
Yeah.
Sorry, Ed, I know your blood is Welsh these days. You shoot
it's right.
Anyway, I'm just thinking about Johnson's fitness. Don't you think as an option to be rested after the World Cup, getting back into kind of full 100% fitness? Maybe Scarpa.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a good point. But again, we are in brand new territory here where we're for some reason playing a World Cup in the middle of everyone else's season.
Yeah.
Like, it makes absolutely no sense why we're having a World Cup in winter, and I will die on that hill. I mean, we've always seen it pretty much every year. There's always been a player or two who've been a standout, almost unknown player. And Johnson's definitely not an unknown player, but he could be the James Rodriguez equivalent, where all of a sudden he puts in a couple of bangers for Wales, and then all of a sudden he's front and centre on everyone else's plate.
Yeah.
But we are in a situation here where he's going to come back from that World Cup, hopefully after only playing 3 games, so he's quite easily not been tried. He's come home after the group stage. He's got plenty of time to recover. I know Ed will probably be hoping that they do get to the semi-finals so that they can represent Wales to the fullest. But
yeah,
it's a brand new situation for everyone. And I think
who changed that?
Changed what?
I just noticed that. Who changed that? Who changed that? Who changed that? That's you, Joe. You're the only power of admin here.
Is Omai in the back? He's a cheeky one, isn't he?
He is. He's very cheeky. Omai is.
Joe's the only one with the power to do it.
So yeah.
How long's that been there?
I don't know. I've only just noticed.
Since that's been on.
It was Ant.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dean. Much love, Dean. Ignore all these liars, man. It was Joe. I know it's Joe. I know. I've been in that seat of power before.
He's so cool as well, isn't he? He's so cool. Like nobody
he's got a poker face, hasn't he?
Like...
He's got an absolute poker face.
Yeah, I'm not playing poker with him, mate.
I mean, me and Ez looked guilty, and we didn't even do it.
I know. As soon as you said it,
and then he starts playing with poor Omai, man. Omai's not even on stream yet.
I'm sorry, Omai. Sorry, mate. Yeah, no, I know. I made myself guilty when I looked and I thought, did I actually do that? But just touching on a Scarpa thing as well, because I was watching him and he actually finished the season off strongly as well. So it's not as if he tailed off towards the end of the season. He finished it really strongly. So this break will be obviously very different to anything he's ever done before. So he's just going to have to keep himself fit throughout the break and almost give himself a mini pre-season. Not even a pre-season, just a continuation of his season.
Yeah.
And I think I think that's a great point about Brennan's impact or how he could be coming back from the World Cup. So it might be an opportunity for him to hit the ground. It's exciting anyway, and he's certainly a player that I think will get us off our seats and really looking forward to that happening. I was going to ask him another question, but he's bloody disappeared, hasn't he? So,
well, before he comes back, Omai, the loan contract's been expunged after they've accused you like that. So I'm not loaning you out for any more money.
I said nothing.
And Smithy, I love you.
Give Joe
Smithy, I love you. That 6-month contract, Jesse Lingard style, gets finished in January. Oh my! I'm not having it. I'm not having it.
Public request.
Oh really? Or troll request?
It's in the comments. It was a request. I mean, I wouldn't have thought of it, but it was in the comments. So,
well,
Mark wanted it. Mark wanted it. Yeah.
My Wales away top is coming soon, so don't worry, mate. I'll be wearing it, and we are. And Wolverine knows we are doing a live stream when England and
I can't wait. Oh my god, I'm gonna hammer you so hard, man.
Wait, are we doing the watch along? That's gonna be fun.
Yeah. That's happening. We'll do a watch party for England Wales game.
You heard it here first.
Yeah. We'll probably do it the next day.
See Wales and Ez get a hammering.
I'll ref it, but
I'm more delayed by 24
on the Wales side, to be honest. But
are you going to get your cards? You get your red and yellow cards then?
I got red, yellow. I got
a purple
birthday card. Will that do?
Red, yellow, and a birthday card. God, you're milking this a bit, aren't you?
Happy birthday.
It's the only one he's got, and he bought it himself.
When you get over 50, you're not supposed to bother about birthday cards.
Oh, apparently now I'm less than 81. Okay. No, I'm greater than 81. What the hell?
No, it's less than 81.
To the power of 81.
Less than 81, yeah.
That's definitely less than 81.
He is. To be fair, he is less than 81. I have to agree.
Well, I'll take
I have a degree in engineering. It is definitely less than.
And I've got a very level painting.
Yeah, one level painting. The rest of them are wonky, though.
Yeah, the house is wonky, but the painting's straight. I tell you.
Smithy's asking, why is Cook not in the World Cup squad? Well, I think Ant would say I'd probably take Cook over Maguire. I'm not even joking.
Yeah.
I'm not even joking.
Over Maguire, yeah. Over Maguire, yeah. Anyone over Maguire, my nan over Maguire, mate. Bloody hell.
You're not going to get back to me again, are you?
No, all right, let's ask Ant a question then. And
yes,
I like what Sharky did at the start.
Sharky was brilliant.
Sharky was brilliant. A to Z, yeah. What are you grading Forest so far this season in a school report style, ABCD style thing?
I would go C. I think that where we are at the moment is okay. We're in the race. You know what I mean? We're in there. We're not out of it. We're not, where we'd all love to be. But yes, I'd give it a C. The last two games, and I know you're not going to like this, aside from the Arsenal, and I'm different to you. I do take the Arsenal game out because they are fantastic. Right?
How can you take the Arsenal game out?
Can't say that.
They're a different animal to us.
So what if Brentford took the Man City game out? Can they do that as well? They'd be 3 points down.
I don't give a shit. They can do what they like.
You can't just ignore it.
I can. I take the Man City game out and I take the Arsenal game out.
Oh, okay. Might as well take the Leicester game out as well.
No, I'm not taking the Leicester game out because they are a team we should be competing with. So I don't take the Leicester game out. We cannot compete with Manchester City. We cannot compete with Leicester.
No. Should we were together at the Brentford game? Should Forest have beaten Brentford comfortably?
Yes.
Comfortably, not just beating them comfortably. Yeah.
Yes.
What did Brentford do the next week?
They went to Manchester City and won.
Okay. So how can you take the Man City game out and the Arsenal game out for us? This is Premier League.
Because the Brentford Man City game is an anomaly. An anomaly. You try saying that?
Anomaly. Yeah.
Oh fuck. The Forest Man City and the Forest Arsenal games are what I expected.
It's not about what you find if it's what you expected. You can't remove it. You can't remove that goal difference off our goal difference tally. That's
Bournemouth lost 9-0 to Liverpool.
You've just hit the exact point that I wanted to allude to here, because I think I got quite a bit of stick for saying that I wasn't trying to write off the Arsenal games and the Man City games, but the Bournemouth one is the perfect example to go back to, where they got absolutely rinsed 9-0 by Liverpool. And they could have easily said that we were just writing it off, but it's about how you then respond back. And we responded back to the City game by losing to Bournemouth and losing to Fulham, which was the complete wrong way, which is why I was trying to say earlier, the shockwave effect of losing those games. We approached the next ones that then came on the completely wrong way. And I stand by that. We didn't play those games the right way.
Well, it is nutty here.
Bournemouth got rattled and absolutely smashed 9-0, which is their only one. I think that's the joint highest record of conceding goals in the Premier League, by only 2 other games. But then they responded back by beating us away. And then since then, they've managed to put themselves...
No, Joe, it wasn't. Sorry to interrupt you. They went 0-0 with Wolves. They just locked down the next game, went 0-0 with Wolves. Then they beat us. Yeah. Whereas your point is so spot on. We went from getting smashed by Man City to then throwing away those games as well. So Ant is wrong to say write it off. I know what he's trying to say. Hang on a second.
So who's going to finish high then, Forest or Bournemouth?
What's that got to do with writing something off?
I don't know. Just saying.
But I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. It's like we're not expected to win those games, yeah?
No, but I know that saying that we got absolutely thumped and me saying it, me almost like throwing it away in the wind and saying, oh, you can expect that. I don't mean to say that any time that we come against these kind of top teams, we should just say, oh yeah, we'll just throw it away, and if we lose, we lose. We should have expected to lose. Ignore it. It doesn't count in the stats. We should obviously always try and play our best, but if we get absolutely thumped, then we have to almost say, why did we get thumped? Do we not belong here, or should we try and regroup? And I feel that Bournemouth did it the right way, whether it was by almost, I might be speaking controversially here, whether it was getting rid of their manager, quite possibly, but they went about it the right way. And since then, they seem to have found a run of form where they seem almost comfortable in the league, because before that game, they were still getting absolutely trashed. And then at that game, everyone just immediately wrote them off. And I feel like we just didn't respond the same way that they did to that game. We lost 6-0 to Man City, and we all of a sudden became a recluse and said, right, we're brand new to this league and there's a brand new team. We have to play a very low block, and we can't try and play any kind of attacking football, because if we do, we're going to have the exact same result that we've just had there at Man City. And then we just lost every single game there by conceding 3 goals or more. And it wasn't until the Leicester City game where we were like, okay, no, maybe this isn't the right way we need to approach it. We have to find a brand new change of formation. We have to play more defensive as a 4 in the back. and then it wasn't until then that we actually started to find the bounce. But I just when I say we need to like kind of count those games as an anomaly, I don't mean completely write them off and I'm being completely blinded by the fact that I only like to look at it as when we're doing well and we're only playing as teams. It's just as a fact that the way that we've had that game against Arsenal and then all the games afterwards, they don't kind of have a similar correlation to that game. Whereas opposed to Man City, it did. We lost 6-0, and then every single game after that, we conceded at least 2 or 3 goals. So then there was a correlation from that game from Man City onwards. We all
one thing I would say, just sorry to interrupt you.
Sure.
You know how you've asked everyone what the most important game was or the most highlighted game was?
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's the Brentford game. As much as we should have smashed them, you think about that Brentford game. We just came off the back of a thumping from Arsenal. If we had lost that game 2-1, I guarantee you we would have lost to Palace. And we would have seen history repeating itself from the Man City game into the Fulham, into the Bournemouth one, into the Fulham one. That last minute goal is bigger than a lot of people realize because it gave us something. It gave us momentum. Yes, I was annoyed at the end of the game because we definitely should have thumped them. Yeah. But if we hadn't got something out of the game, that team would have been so flat and would have taken nothing into that Palace match. And we would have seen that repeated pattern that we saw after the Man City game, repeating after the Arsenal game. And
I was going to say, just very, very quickly, after Brentford drew with us, what did Brentford do following that?
Beat Man City.
So football's a funny old game, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a straight game. But it was exactly the point I made. Some of the viewers of Wolverine's channel will remember when I was off screen and I had this massive rant on after the Arsenal game.
Well, you were going to say I had that massive boil on the end of my nose, but go on.
Yeah, no, but I was but no, the point I made after that game and exactly what Joe's pretty much said there is that if after that defeat we see the run of performances like we did have after Man City, then something has to change. Because if we don't see any improvement from that big defeat and the way we going into the Arsenal, coming out of the Arsenal defeat, then there's something definitely wrong with the psychology and the mentality of the players and the way Cooper's motivating them. But as it turned out, we did see improvement. And
but as we're on a knife edge.
Yeah,
but
that last minute goal made all the difference. It made all the difference. Yeah. As much as I was frustrated coming out of that game, it made all the difference.
And I think we have to acknowledge as well, hopefully, that just about any team can lose 6 to City and 5 to Arsenal. Do you know what I mean? They are way out there.
Well,
but Sharky's been saying it. I'm sorry, but Sharky's right. He said it earlier. You can't. Would Clough accept 5 or 6-0, regardless of how crap a Forest team he had in front of him?
No, of course he wouldn't. But
so why should we?
Well,
when you say accept it, you have to accept it.
We're not accepting it. We're not accepting
it. Happens. As Joe said, it's how you come back from. It's how you come back from those defeats that's going to define your season.
Exactly that. It's how you react to it, isn't it? And we didn't react well to it after Man City, and then obviously subsequently, and we said it wasn't the fact that we were losing; it was the manner of the performances that was.
Listen, worse than the Leicester game was far worse than those 2 games.
Agreed.
Like I say, I can accept losing to City by a big score. I can accept losing to Arsenal by a big score. The Leicester game, no.
That was
the point. That was it. The only point that I started to doubt whether Stevie Cooper could do it. That was like I had a doubt, thinking, "Hang on, this is." But since then, obviously, as it transpires,
for me, it's the Villa and the Wolves match. For me, it's still the most frustrating 2 matches.
Yeah,
because it's the way we played. You could understand it against Villa because he needed to shut up shop after the Leicester.
But Villa were appalling, weren't they? Villa were appalling. Villa at that time were appalling.
Shocking. I still say Villa and Brentford are the worst 2 we've seen at the City Ground. But that game against Wolves at Molineux, Wolves were shocking.
Yeah,
and we just didn't go at their throat at all. And that, for me, just frustrated the crap out of me.
Right. I mean, even the Brighton draw away from home, you know, that first half, we gave them the ball, we let them do, and they were awful. And if we'd gone at them that second half, I think we could have actually got 3 points out. I think they were overtaking. So that's another game where, but you know, there's if buts and maybes.
Yeah,
but I think
we are where we are.
Yeah, we are where we are, and I think the good thing is that we had but what I wanted was that glimmer of hope for the fans going into this World Cup break, and the most important thing was getting off at the foot of that table and getting past the derby, because I didn't even realise we got past it until we came out of the Palace game, and I heard fans talking about it. I didn't realise we'd surpassed a little milestone, but that was important, and psychologically it has been important. So let's, you know, guys, fantastic. I can't believe it's been nearly 2 hours already.
Can I just ask one question? It's just on. I know I was looking at the time myself. I was like, oh crap. What Sharky's saying there? If we accept it, we will accept it in the next match, next time. Yeah. So can I ask you this question? Are you okay if we went and got smashed 5-0 by Man U and then 6-0 by Chelsea in the next 2 games?
No.
If we won every game from then on to the end of the season, yeah, I'd accept it.
No. I'm saying we're now sitting here post Chelsea. We've just lost 5 and 6 to those 2. Are you going to accept it? Because you're okay with it for Arsenal.
What do you mean accept it? You got no choice, have you? If it happens, it happens. You can't change it. What do you mean? Would you accept it?
I know you can't change it, but are you going to be happy? Not happy, but accepting of the result, the score.
You mean would I sit here and say that's okay?
Yes.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. Because I think that we've progressed, and that would be backwards.
And that's what Arsenal felt like to me. It felt like so many steps back, you know, and that's what frustrated me more than not that we lost, because they didn't expect us to win that game. Yes, there was a little bit of hype going out after the Liverpool win. We thought, yeah, maybe possibly get a point out of that. But it was a manner of a defeat and the way they capitulated. Again, that second half capitulation. I slept through it. I slept through it and I woke up and I saw the result. And I was annoyed. And then I watched the performance and I was fuming. You know, it was just the way we gave up that game. So that did feel like a few steps back. And if alluding to Wolverine's question there, if those performances happen against Man United and Chelsea, then you know you got to reevaluate it. You know, you can't be happy with it, and I don't think any of us would be happy with it.
I will contradict myself. There is one factor in all this. Steve Cook.
Yeah.
But he was good against Liverpool. All I will say is I can accept a 5-0 defeat if the performance was, you know, warrants an acceptance of that 5-0 defeat. I cannot accept a 5-0 defeat if we just sit back and just pray that we keep them to 3 or 4 goals. That for me is the difference. So I am contradicting myself a bit, but that for me is the difference.
Yeah.
But I feel like the only time we really saw that was at City, where we just were against that. I felt that I was watching that game. We were against a team that was just completely against us. We could not do anything if we were constantly playing in our own half. And I remember watching that first half, just thinking, we've got no chance here because we have no counter to how they're playing. We can't play out the back. The only result that we have is trying to boot it. If we try and play out the back, they press us way too high, so then we lose it in our own half. And that was just a game where we had absolutely nothing to offer. So I remember watching the game, and I embraced that as an absolute thumping. I was like, as long as we keep it under 9, I remember saying this while I was watching it with my girlfriend. I was like, as long as we keep it under 9, I don't mind, because we're not had the biggest defeat so far. Against Arsenal and against Leicester, yes, I didn't want to concede that many goals, especially since we went against Arsenal 1-0 down at half time, where we probably could have tried to find a bounce back, but we did similar to what we did against Bournemouth and Fulham, where we've conceded goals, conceded quite a few goals in a very short space of time, where we've immediately just put our heads down. And we're just out of the game there because we were all in our head rather than actually playing the game.
Yeah.
So I think the City game, as much as I get a lot of stick for saying this, it is a standout for being a game on its own where we were just simply outclassed. The other games where we got thumped against Leicester and Arsenal, I think they were ones where we got on our own head. Once we kind of conceded, we were all down in the dumps and we were trying to build ourselves out of that, and we just didn't. So we were horses for courses. Everyone was just scoring against us wherever they could.
Yeah.
So going back to your question, where if we lose against high scoring tallies against City and Chelsea, would I accept it? No. To the question that was on there, especially as back-to-back games, especially with one of those being at home, I would not accept that. If we were to lose in that kind of manner at home, I think there would have to be serious questions asked, because it just should never happen at home. I think the crowd has played such an important role, and especially being able to keep us in all the games that we've won. I mean, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I think every game that we've won so far at home has only been a 1-0 win.
Yeah, apart from the Spurs one, but that was cup.
So the fact that we've managed to somehow keep a clean sheet in there, but only score one goal and still managed to scrap our way through it. I think that if we do concede a lot of goals at home, there are then some serious questions that have to be asked, because the fans play a big role in trying to keep the players uplifted and trying to carry us through.
Yeah.
But we're jumping the gun a little bit, aren't we? We're not going to get hammered by Chelsea. We're going to beat Chelsea. So why are we even worried about it?
But I don't think any of us would have expected to get absolutely hammered by Arsenal. So that's why I'm just having to face that question head on. It is a possibility that can happen, especially being in this league. And if it does happen, then I will be genuinely concerned. But I don't think it's going to happen. I'll put my neck on that sword now. I don't think it's going to happen. I think we are going to be. I think it will be a close game, especially since they are a genuine established team in the Premier League. I think it's someone that if we are able to win that game, we will be absolutely elated with. Yeah. If we do manage to pull out a draw with that, I think we'd still be happy with that. But we'd be wanting to win that. But if we got absolutely smashed 3-0, 4-0, 5-0 onwards, there would be absolute uproar, and I would be, as much as I try and stay positive and uplifting on the stream, I would be
pissed off,
almost outraged if that was the case.
I think you're right, Joe. I think you can accept one of, in our situation, coming up 22 new players, all that business. I think you can accept one or two hammerings by the absolute top dogs, which Man City and Arsenal are. But you can't keep accepting it, you know what I mean?
And I think that's what I'm trying to get back to with those comments earlier on.
I've got 2 quick points on it. I fully agree with what Southpaw said. This is my number one issue. What he says there, we're playing like the away team at home, and for me, I don't like that. Whether or not you want to defend it or say we got to do low block for X, Y, Z, just from my heart, I don't like seeing Forest play like that team. And my final point, because I know we're getting on time-wise here, is what I don't want Forest fans to do is look past the Man U and Chelsea game where we've got that Southampton, Leeds, Bournemouth run, whatever it is, and start thinking, let's just get past these two. Because what I'll say is, we were kind of saying that when we were playing Liverpool and Arsenal, and we beat Liverpool and got 3 points. So let's not write off these 2 games. No, we just need Brentford beat Man City. Yeah. I would nothing. This Man U game is up there for me with the Spurs game, because Twist is a Man U fan. Yeah. In my whole 100 years of knowing him, we've never played Man U. This is the first time. This is huge for me. I need this win. Yeah, I need this win big time. So I'm not looking past these 2 matches, but aside from my personal rivalries, let's not write these off and start looking ahead at the Southampton match and those ones, because we did that with Bournemouth and Fulham and we lost them both.
No, I mean, sorry, Ez, I just want to, that's a perfect point there, because I think we did look past 2 games where we played Spurs at home and then City away. We were like, all right, we've got an easy run of games now against Bournemouth at home and Fulham at home. We absolutely fell into that trap. We accepted those 2 losses, and we then just went on a massive streak. So no, I do agree with that. We can't look past any game now. We have to almost take that Cooperism on as one game at a time.
Yeah, those two games, Bournemouth and Fulham, they're far worse than losing to Arsenal and Man City, even though they were thrashings.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think as fans as well, we've learned from that mistake as well, that we can't look too far ahead. We can't look at any game in this league and think that's 3 points for us. We can't. Unfortunately, we can't. And that's for reality. That's for the coming down to earth and realizing. But I think we've learned the hard way as fans as well, and certainly as the players and the squad has taken shape. We've seen it, but. Thank you. I mean, we got to end the stream soon because it's just otherwise we'll be here till tomorrow. But thank you everybody who's taken part today.
Can I just say something very, very quickly?
No.
It's totally irrelevant. But I've been to Old Trafford 3 times. The first time was the League Cup final replay when we beat Liverpool 1-0. The second time was in the following. The first time was in the season when we beat Liverpool. Oh, fucking hell. First time was in the league season when we beat Man U 4-0. The second time was in the final when we beat Liverpool 1-0, and the third time was 1994-95 when we beat Man U 2-1. So I've been 3 times and we've won 3 times.
And look what Sharky's put in there: 17th of December 77. So there's
he's spot
on. That was the first time. Second time was in the League Cup final replay against Liverpool. Believe it or not, that's when you did the replay. We beat them 1-0. And the third time was in 94-95 when we beat Man U 2-1.
And you know what? And you know what? That was Twist's first ever game at Old Trafford. And it was Pearson Collymore, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what was quite controversial? And I love Stan Collymore. He's my favourite ever Forest player. But he was rumoured to be like on his way out. And Man U were sniffing round. And he burst through. He was clean through. You know what Collymore was like? It was clean through. And one of their players was injured. And he can stop the play. I remember all the Forest fans going mental. I just want to go and play for them. Anyway.
Yeah.
More importantly, Dean's asking about your scent. He wants to get a few and he's asking if they're online.
So, Dean, I've put my email address. Basically, that's my email address at esmotc@gmail.com. Contact me through there and I'll send you some links and then we'll carry on from it. The Shopify has worked, but there's still a few teething issues with it. So until I've got that ironed out, just anything you guys are interested in, just email me and then we'll discuss it and I'll point you in the right direction. But Dean, thank you so much. I'll contact me through the email or through Twitter, mate, and I'll help you out there. Thank you so much for your support, and he's inquired a few times as well. So Dean, I have seen your inquiries, mate. But just contact me through those channels, and I'll give you I'll get we'll have a discussion, and I'll help you out, mate. Thank you very much for inquiring.
Can I have a discount as well? Because I want to order some.
Mate, you got yours.
You get a discount from my membership because you're a member.
Can I just say, you've all had samples off me. I hope you've all enjoyed them. But I mean, I look after my friends. You know that.
I know.
It's beautiful.
Cool. Thank you so much.
Cool.
But Joe, I'll let you finish off the stream, mate. It's been an absolute pleasure to be back on again with you guys. But Joe, I'll let you finish us off.
Yeah, I mean, I think you've hit the nail on the head there. We've been live for 2 hours. We've had almost a consistent amount of people that have been in the chat. We've had Wolverine, who's been with us. I mean, he's been someone that we've been raving about since we've started, and I'm so glad to see that your channel absolutely exploded since we've been live, and then since we've especially been away. I mean,
and at my age as well, 81. It's impressive, isn't it?
At least less than 81. You might be 80, you might be 20. Who knows? Not me. But I'm so glad to see that your channel is doing well, mate. I'm so glad that you're constantly pumping out that content, and it's just brilliant to watch. It gets me through the day, at least. I feel like there's a lot of Reds fans who probably feel the same way. So thank you for doing what you're doing, and thank you so much for being part of our return stream back today.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me on. Just they're asking about memberships to your channels as well, guys. I don't think you've got them on yet.
Not yet, no. We need a few more subs. So guys, if you haven't already hit like on the stream so far, please do so. And please share our channel on your could be on your social media platforms, any Forest groups that you're in. It really helps us get the message out. Obviously, we've got the support of one of the biggest in our Forest space, which is Wolverine, and I'm sure we'll hopefully get a few from his channel over here. But we've got so much support from you guys, and it's been really humbling, to be honest, because we've been off this space for a few months, and the requests haven't stopped coming, and everybody stayed in contact with us, and really appreciate it. So yeah, so the sooner we can get up to 1,000 subs, yeah, we can have a look at memberships and things like that. But just your support, guys, just you guys being on here with us and in the chat, and even for yourselves, guys, people like Dean and Southpaw Red who are always in the chat. Don't be shy. I mean, you can come on. You don't have to have your camera on. You don't have. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how we get Anton, but he manages to get on with it.
You can't be that ugly. You can't, wherever he is. You can't be that ugly.
Yeah. So I just want to say, these three guys, right, and no bullshit, they're as lovely in real life as they are on stream, honestly. And they work bloody hard to bring this sort of content. It's not easy.
That's his birthday money. You're giving your birthday money away for. Thank you, Anne. No, we need people like yourselves, you know, who not only watch what we do, they contribute as well. And it's all about the interaction and the contribution. And this channel was always set up to give people a chance to come on who maybe can't get on some of the bigger channels, you know, or too shy to do so. You know, come on, you know, have your view, have your opinions, and we'll always give you the platform to do so. It's your platform, like I always say, guys. It's your platform, and we're here just to facilitate it for you. And all the praise must go to Joe, because Joe does all the hard work behind the scenes. I just turn up like I do on your streams. Like I just turn up. Joe does everything. He does all the marketing. He does all the thumbnails. So 100%. Thank you, Joe, for making this happen and for bringing us back on it. But yeah, thank you everybody who's contributed today. Really appreciate it. Joe, I'll let you see us out, mate.
Yeah, no, perfect way to end it. Thank you so much for everyone that's been part of it. Thank you to everyone that's come on and joined us on this stream. Thanks you to Ant. Thank you to Mark. Thank you to Sharky. Thank you to Eve for sticking with us all the way, and thank you for taking time out of your party to join us on this stream. It's been absolutely amazing to get back into it. Again, I know that we've been asked how to kind of join a membership or stuff. We're not doing it for that at the moment. We're just doing it purely out of the love for Forest and to hear everybody else's opinions and be a part of the community. And I think that it's a great space to kind of come to out of what I do in my working life and just be able to talk about Forest for 2 hours quite comfortably without, I mean, I had to take one toilet break, and I do apologize for that. There was no way that I was going to be able to hold that in for an extra hour.
2 hours.
We've been able to talk for 2 hours quite comfortably about Forest with everybody else who's passionate about Forest. And this is what it's all about. So thank you so much for everyone for coming back to us after taking a couple of months of hiatus. I'm looking forward to being able to keep on running it again. And yeah, I'm quite happy to leave it at that. So Ez, thank you for taking the time. Wolverine, big thank you to you for taking time out of your birthday that's definitely less than 81. I don't know what it is, but it's definitely under that. And Ant, thank you so much for sticking with us. I know you were in the wings waiting to join our stream for quite a while, so I did take a note of that. Thank you so much for sticking with us, and everyone that's been in the chat the entire way through. Thank you for being part of the community, sticking with us, watching the entire way through. And anyone that's watching in the future, let us know how England got on. I'm really looking forward to seeing how we somehow got knocked out by Wales and Iran. So put them in the comments, proving me right what I've just said right now. Yeah, I'm sure it's coming home, and I'm sure it's absolutely right there. I'm be more than happy to be proven right. But
it's coming home.
On that note, thank you so much for everyone for being with us. We're going to sign out now. We'll see you next time. Cheers, guys. You Reds.
You Reds.
You Reds.